Let's start with a recap of yesterday. After wrapping up the yoga session, the Prime Minister left New York. His next stop was here in Washington, D.C. He landed at the Andrews base in Maryland. It's the same base used by the US President and other dignitaries. Now, after the arrival, Prime Minister Modi got down to business. His first engagement was at a skill development event. It was organized by the National Science Foundation. First Lady Jill Biden was also present there. The Prime Minister pitched for a pipeline of talent pool between the two countries. He said it's key to sustaining the momentum of growth. Listen to this.
आज भारत और अमेरिका को ग्रोथ का मोमेंटम बनाए रखने के लिए एक पाइपलाइन ऑफ टैलेंट उसकी भी जरूरत है, जहां एक और अमेरिका के पास उच्च कोटि के शिक्षण संस्थान है, एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजीज है, वहीं भारत के पास विश्व की सबसे बड़ी युवा फैक्ट्री है.
Now, skilling is a big part of India's vision. We have the largest youth population in the entire world, and we will continue to have it until 2030. So, India is primed for a demographic dividend. And the Prime Minister has talked about this before. He's also launched the Skill India mission. Around 10 million youth get training every year under this scheme in India. Let's come back to Washington, D.C. After the skill event, Modi had 3 important sit-downs. 2 of them were with titans of the chip industry, the CEOs of Micron and Applied Materials. We talked about India's chip ambitions yesterday. The entire world is looking to diversify the supply chain, and India has signed up for that. India wants to emerge as a chip power in the 21st century. And from the looks of it, the CEOs agree. Listen to this.
And I really believe that the opportunity for India's growth in the semiconductor industry is now. This is India's time to drive incredible growth, and Applied is very, very much looking forward to working together with the Prime Minister and everyone in India.
The third important sit-down was with Lawrence Culp. He is the CEO of General Electric. Does the name ring a bell? General Electric is the same company that is expected to sign a jet engine deal with India. It's probably the biggest deliverable of this trip. Only 4 countries have jet engine technology. If the US shares it with India, it could be a big deal. The Prime Minister appreciated GE's plans to manufacture in India. He also invited them to play a bigger role in Indian aviation. Nothing about the deal though. So meetings done. It was time for the main event of the day. Prime Minister Modi headed to the White House. He was welcomed by President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden. They spoke for a couple of minutes. They shared a joke or two perhaps, posed for pictures, and then disappeared into the White House. Now, this wasn't the ceremonial welcome. It was a private dinner between Biden and Modi. The two leaders also exchanged some gifts. We'll talk about that later. So that was day 1 in Washington, D.C., done and dusted. Now let's talk about day 2. A couple of hours back, the Prime Minister returned to the White House. We've been here this whole time, and this time it was a ceremonial welcome. Take a look at how that played out. It's Thursday morning in Washington, D.C. It's a rainy, drizzly morning, but it seems even the weather gods cannot rain on this big party. There is a lot of excitement in the air. We are in the south lawns of the White House. I'm sure you can hear the people chanting, and a lot of people have gathered here. People from the Indian community who've come from across the United States of America to greet Prime Minister Modi, to witness his ceremonial welcome in the White House. There's a lot of excitement in the air. I'm not sure how much sense you can make amid all the sound, but it's quite infectious, I have to say. And according to some reports, tens of thousands of people registered to attend this event. The weather has not helped, but that has not dampened the enthusiasm, and we'll wait and see how this plays out in the day ahead.
Critical and emerging technologies, the pillar of our next generation partnership, to ensure that these technologies promote and protect our values, remain open, accessible, and trusted and secure. We face an inflection point, one of those moments that only come around every several generations, when so much is changing technologically, politically, socially, and environmentally, that the decisions we make today are going to determine our future for decades to come. Two great nations, two great friends, two great powers that can define the course of the 21st century.
फ्रेंड्स, भारत और अमेरिका दोनों के समाज और व्यवस्थाएं लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों पर आधारित है। इस कालखंड में भारत और अमेरिका की मित्रता पूरे विश्व के सामर्थ्य को बढ़ाने में पूरक होगी। ग्लोबल गुड के लिए वैश्विक शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि के लिए दोनों देश साथ मिलकर काम करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है।
Like I said, the bilateral is underway. President Biden and Prime Minister Modi have plenty to discuss. Defense, China, trade, Ukraine, climate change, a host of issues that concern both the countries. We'll keep you updated about the joint statement as and when it comes out. It's definitely one to watch out for. After the White House, the Prime Minister will head to the US Capitol. He will be addressing a joint session of the Congress. It's his second time doing so. Modi had addressed a joint session in 2016 during the Obama presidency. Now, the address doesn't have policy implications, but it is full of symbolism. It is very significant. A, it tells you that there is bipartisan support for India. Both Democrats and Republicans want stronger ties with New Delhi. And B, it's a mark of respect. Only a handful of leaders have addressed the US Congress twice, and Modi will be the first Indian to do so. After the speech of the Congress, the Prime Minister will return to the White House. Here he will attend the state banquet. Again, no policy implications here, but a state dinner is also full of symbolism. Biden has given just two of them in his presidency, two state dinners, one to France and one to South Korea. So what can you expect at the state dinner? Well, both leaders will speak, but it's more of a relaxed atmosphere. Expect some good music, some jokes, some good food. Now, the president's spouse handles the state dinner. That's Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, and she gave a preview on what to expect. Listen in.
We are bringing together the world's oldest and the world's largest democracies. As some of you may know, Prime Minister Modi is a vegetarian. So we asked Chef Nina Curtis, a plant-based pioneer, to work with our White House chefs and create a stunning vegetarian menu.
One of the special items on the menu is millets. The first course is marinated millet with corn salad and watermelons. It's actually a nod to India. New Delhi pushed to declare 2023 as the International Year of Millets, and Prime Minister Modi has himself championed this. Even in New York, he talked about the health benefits of millets. Looks like the White House agrees. We'll be tracking all of this closely. But tomorrow is Prime Minister's last day in the US. He will meet Vice President Kamala Harris for lunch. He also has that big diaspora event lined up. And then at night, he will fly out to Egypt. So far, this trip has been a great success. But a lot hinges on today. Biden and Modi need a successful bilateral today. They need to cement this relationship for decades to come. Can they do it? We'll have an answer by tonight.